we're worthy of 5. The problem is, if you do the math, 70% of 70% means that you're actually only meeting less than 50% of the needs of the marketplace. And this is a problem. We speak today of software as commodity software. It's a commodity software. You buy it off the shelf. It's not specific to you. It's like a can of corn in the grocery store. When you go to buy a can of corn, you don't spend any more than 2 seconds looking at the corn to decide which one you're going to buy. Because corn is a commodity. If you spend more than 2 seconds looking at it, somebody's going to think you're strange. But compare that to a car. Cars are all the same. They all have a steering wheel, a gas pedal, a brake. They all are means of transportation. But nobody would take a suitcase full of money down to the car lot and say, give me a car, any car, on the car lot. Because a car is not a commodity. A car, you have to make sure, is big enough to fit your family. It's safe. It gives you good gas mileage. It can pull your boat or your trailer. Well, maybe the car is too big, and it can't fit into the small parking space that you have. So cars are not commodities. And the thing is, in my 40 years of being in the computer industry, I have never seen a commodity business problem. The business problems are all different. And so how do you treat a particular business problem with a commodity product? It's impossible. Next slide, please. So why is manufactured software breaking down? In the 1980s, when production software started, I actually bought a piece of production software. I paid $1,000 US for it to run it on my computer. I bought it from a small company that was near my house, and they had about 1,000 customers. They had about 100 engineers in addition. And one day, I found a problem with the software, so I called up the little company and I said, could you fix this? And I got the president of the company on the line. And the president of the company said, yes, I think we can fix that problem. I know what that is. And he could say that because he was also the chief programmer. And he said, if we fix it today, we can probably get it out to you today. And he can say that because he was the head of quality control. And he said if we get it out today, we could probably have it tomorrow by FedEx. And he could know that because he was also the head of shipping. And yes, the next day I received this 8-inch floppy disk, which I put in my computer, and it worked fine. But now it's the year 2008. And the little company has grown a little bit. They now have 150 engineers, but they have 4.5 million customers. And now when you call up the little company, you no longer get the president of the company on the phone, nor do you get the chief programmer, nor do you get the QA manager, nor do you get even the head shipping clerk. You know what you get? Please press button number 1 for sales, button number 2 for support, and you press button number 2 and you know what you get? You get and then you get hung up. And the problem is not that this little company does not want to help you. They do. They're proud of their product. It's that they can't help you. They've gone beyond the point where they have so many customers, they can't meet the needs of the customers they have. It's a problem. Next slide, please. A lot of times I'll have 1,000 business people in a room, and I'll say to them, how many people have ever had a problem with closed source proprietary software? And when I say that, 999 hands will go up in the room. And the reason the last one doesn't raise his hand is because he's asleep. And I'll say the next question. As business people, how many of you have turned in a problem report to the company to tell them about the problem? And now 3/4 of the hands will stay raised because they're business people. They paid for the software. They expected it would work. Silly people. And I'll say to the people with their hands raised, how many of you actually got back a good workaround or bug fix for the problem? And now all the hands will go down in the room, except for maybe 5 or 10 or 15. It really doesn't make any difference. And I'll say, Mr. Gates, you don't count. The problem is that this is a very poor report on our software industry. It should be better. And I'll ask the final question of these business people. I will say, how many of you have ever had to change the way you do business to fit the way the software works? And now 3/4 of the people will raise their hands again. And this caused them to have to retrain their people, perhaps lose some sales and customers who don't know what's going on. The software has changed. It causes customer dissatisfaction. Software freedom allows you to have control of your software again. Software freedom puts the control of the software back in your hands. Maybe you do not have the expertise to change the software to what you want, but you have the right to choose whether you do that or not. You can hire a programmer to change the software to be what you need. That's your choice, not the choice of a large company. Next slide, please. I'm going to take an example. We're using circles and squares. Imagine that the left-hand circle is a problem. It's your business. You have a problem. And you would like to find a software solution that fills that problem, that fixes that problem. As I said, every business problem is different. But you're going to buy commodity software that comes in a box to fix it. So let's buy our first box of software. Oh, there we go. That's great. But there's still part of the blue showing through. It didn't fix the entire problem. So I go back to the store, I buy another box of software to fix the problem. And I apply it. Next slide, please. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the first fix. Next slide, please. Still blue showing through.